So today I am going to buy a drum set. There's a couple of reasons I'm doing this. The first reason is it's $25 on Facebook Marketplace. Who doesn't love that? It's $25 for the entire kit. So that's kick drum, snare drum, 2 rack toms, a floor tom, stands, cymbals, a throne, the whole 9 yards. $25 for everything. The second reason is I've always wanted to take on a kit as like a project. So something that you can really clean up, restore, make your own, and have a really good time doing it. It's also a kit that you can just, throw in the car at a moment's notice, even if you don't have cases or bags. Something that you can leave at a friend's house and not really worried about if it gets, scratched up, dinged up, or God forbid if it gets stolen. I'll throw a few pictures of the Facebook Marketplace on the screen so you can check it out. As you can see, not super great condition. It's more of a beginner level, entry level drum kit, and there is, a lot left to be desired on the condition of the kit. So my plan for it is to bring it back to the house, strip off the white wrap, sand it down smooth, stain it with a really beautiful wood stain, clean up the hardware really well, reassemble it, new heads, all that, kind of good stuff. And really, like I said, bring it back to life and get it performing at its best and use it as a kit that I can just kind of mess around with. So first step is to actually go get the drums. So let's go. This is what we're working with. Please disregard the state of my garage. I'm working on it, okay? So we got the toms, floor tom and snare. Here's the kick drum over here. And she actually ended up throwing in an extra free kick drum pedal, more than advertised, a free extra snare stand, and an extra hi-hat stand. She also threw in this Alesis hi-hat pedal for an electric drum kit. I don't really have any use for it, but we'll see if we can maybe do something with it. As you can see, it's all pretty dusty, cobwebby, grimy, and nasty. So we're gonna get this cleaned up nicely. Also, that blanket in there, a little bit problematic. We're gonna take that out and get rid of it for sure. Given the condition of the drums, what I thought I'd do is throw down my drum rug in here, give you a little before sound test, and then after we're done with the project, give you a little bit of an after sound test. See how everything goes. So let's get that set up. All right, so this is the kit setup. I have not adjusted anything except for a couple of cymbal stands. I have not tuned any of these drums. I have not even hit any of these drums at all, other than just tapping them with my finger when I first looked at them. As you can already tell, this tilter on this cymbal stand is broken, so this stand is pretty much trash. Let's see how they sound right off the bat. No tuning, no adjustments other than a couple cymbal stand heights, and let's see how it sounds. So, as you can tell, It doesn't sound great, but let's get to work, bring this thing back to life. Let's go. Sure enough. Cool, so we got all of the hardware off, and as you can tell by the discoloration, you can tell where the original white is. These drums were originally kind of a pure white, but they definitely yellowed in the sunlight over time, and you can tell even more here that, you know, stark difference. Upon, you know, taking all the hardware off, I kind of am figuring that it's only laminated, or glued rather, in this one spot, you can tell, because I'm not seeing any glue back here. So taking this wrap off should be pretty easy. So why don't we just give it a shot real quick and see what happens. Yeah, that was pretty easy. Wow. There are these little, if you can get in here, these little staples kind of in the top and bottom. So I'm just gonna try and get those out real quick. This is not my good hand, but let's see if we can get them. There's one. There's two. So this should just pull right off. Look at that. And you can see here, that's a whole sheet of wrap. Kind of like a toasted marshmallow gradient, right? So we're gonna do the rest of these toms, and then we'll get back with you. With this floor tom, I showed it in an earlier clip when I was unloading the drums or setting them up. The wrap is actually already kind of splitting here, and this looks to be kind of that glue strip that was holding on the kick drum that we saw earlier. So this one should be pretty easy. Again, we've got these staples. I'm gonna try and actually take the wrap off first and then remove the staples. Try and get in here. Yeah, and it looks like the same thing as with the kick drum. It's only glued on in this one spot. There we go. This shell is like, they're so much darker. This shell almost looks like it's mahogany. Oh. See, this is a problem that we're running into now, is that this glue is actually really stuck to the shell, and it's taking honestly a good chunk of the wood with it, which is a problem. So I'm gonna have to be very careful when I finish peeling this glue off to not take off too much of this wood. You can see where it chipped out a little bit right here, but I think we can salvage that and fix it. And there's a little bit of glue residue I'll probably have to come back with a putty knife and maybe a heat gun to get some of this off. But again, shouldn't be too bad. So all the wrap is now gone. As you can see, they're still not in the greatest shape, like I said earlier. Got some, looks like, can you see this on the screen? What looks like some glue residue on here. And there's like some tear out from where they drilled them. Again, this is kind of what you're gonna find on these, you know, really not poorly made, but cheaply made kind of import drums, beginner level drums. We got the seam right here where it looks like the shell was maybe laminated together. Some more tear out here. Then you can see on the inside of the shell, like right here, again, a little bit of tear out. We'll clean all this up with some sandpaper and an orbital sander. But the thing that's surprising me the most is that this shell and these two tom shells are obviously very different colors. And again, that's another kind of cost-cutting measure you'll find with some of these cheaper import kits where they don't have to match the shell grain, they don't have to match the batch of lumber, and sometimes maybe not even the species according to here. To me, in my experience, this looks more like what a mahogany shell would look like. Kind of the darker, more red looking color. And then this to me looks more of like what a maple or even like a pine shell would look like. A lot of work to be done on these. Even though the wrap came off pretty easily, it looks like we're gonna have our work cut out for us, especially with the 12-inch here. You can see where there's been a good bit of wood that tore out from that glue seam. Thankfully, this is where the mounting will be, where it mounts to the kick drum. This is where the air grommet was, so when the shell is mounted to the kit, this is what it'll look like. You won't really see this, but I still want to take care of it. And then again, when you put a lug in here, it'll cover up a good bit of it, but still, just to the integrity of the shell, you can see it's tearing away right here. I still want to maybe put some wood filler in here, sand it down real smooth, and then we'll put the stain over it. So let's get our orbital sander all geared up with some 120 grit sandpaper, and let's get this sanded smooth, ready for some finishing. So it seems like the heat gun putty knife combo seems to be the best solution to get the rest of the adhesive off of the shells from the glue strip. So I'm going to do the rest of the drums, the floor tom and the kick drum, and then we should be able to come back with some wood filler, sand everything down smooth, and then we can get it ready for finishing. So let's do it. Good enough. All right. So that is it. We are finally done with this drum restoration project. It took about 6 months, but we're finally here at the end of it. Definitely want to give a huge shout out to my wife Lexi for helping me do this and letting me take up our whole entire garage here and there for about 6 months. And thank you folks for watching. I hope to do more of these in the future. And it's just been a really great learning experience to do this. A lot of fun working with the materials themselves, learning techniques on how to clean and staining for the first time, which I've never done. I just had a really great time doing it. I really don't know the final plan for these drums. I may keep them around. I may keep them at friends' houses or whatever. I have somebody in mind that I would like to give them to if that's possible, if they will accept them. But really, I just had fun doing it. All in all, have about the kit itself and everything was $25. I put about $30 or $40 worth of materials in it with the stain and the sanding paper and all that kind of stuff. So all in all, about $60-ish for an entire drum kit that really does not sound bad at all. Pretty happy with how everything turned out. So again, thanks for watching. Hope to do more of these in the future. And I'm not really sure how to end videos yet. I guess I'll learn that later, so whatever. Thanks for watching.